the toppers on the XAT. All right. So all those people who could not do well on CAT 2020 for whatever reasons, just forget that. The next most important examination is going to start in hours from now. Okay. And if you look at last year, in fact, immediately after the examination, I also realized that, of course, it was a difficult test, right? But mostly XAT is a difficult test. Okay, last year probably, yes, it was in the last 4 or 5 years. XAT 2020 was probably the most difficult one. All right, but if you look at the percentile requirement and its equivalent score, you would be amazed. Guess at what score were people able to get a call from the XLRI last year at a raw score of 23, 24 also. People got a call from the XLRI, the top institute. What else you want? Now in 2 hours, 45 minutes, why can't you score 23, 24? That also is a question. What do you say, Pranav?
Yeah, so XAT, as you rightly said, it is one of the most difficult MBA examinations. However, if it is properly strategized, you need to score minimum, let's say 6-7 marks in each of these sections, and a net score of total, to be on the safer side, around 30. If you get up to 30, you are on the safe side on most of the occasions. So if you strategize properly and if you have put in efforts, if you have been regular with your preparation, it's quite possible. And the percentile requirement here is quite low. You just need above 95 percentile to get a call from XLRI.
Yes, in the worst case also, that goes up to 96, 97. Okay. On many occasions, that's just 95. Certain years, it goes up to 96, 97 also. That is it. Okay, I do not remember, at least in the last 20 years, the percentile requirement of the XLRI going above 97. Okay, at least I do not remember. All right, so as Pranav rightly said that regardless of the difficulty level of the test, this is mostly seen that if your overall score is 30, you're more or less safe for getting a call from the XLRI for their BM program. I do not know what to call the flagship program of the XLRI. Of course, traditionally, XLRI has been known for its HRM program, but more or less, BM is the first choice for most of the people. That also is a fact. Yes. And as far as Pranav said that you should try to score 6 to 7 in each of the sections. Okay. I believe that probably a score of 6 to 7 in English, okay, maybe 6 to 7 in the DM as well, probably 2 more marks in the quantitative aptitude section. So 9 to 10 is something which I would be more comfortable with in the quantitative aptitude. Okay, and keep one thing in mind, that when it comes to the accuracy is the key here on the XAT. And in fact, I was watching a video on YouTube, not that I wanted to watch, okay, it came into my line of vision. And I realized that probably one of the professionals on YouTube was giving you, or rather was asking you to do some guesswork. And the reasoning was that only 25% negative marking is there on XAT, unlike CAT, right? Of course, we all know that CAT has 33.33% negative marking, whereas the XAT has 25% negative marking, but there's a huge difference. In case of CAT, you get only 4 options, okay? But in case of XAT, you have 5 options, okay? So 25% negative marking with 4 options, or rather 33.33% negative marking with 4 options, and 25% negative marking with 5 options, I believe that risk is more or less the same. Of course, you can do some fast calculation on mathematical expectations and can tell me that no, probably this case is slightly better, but that is theoretical. What do you say, Pranav?
Yeah, because if you look probability wise, in each case you get a net score of 0. Like if you get 1 correct and 4 incorrect, in case of XAT you have net 0 marks. And in case of CAT, if you do 1 correct and 3 incorrect. So that's why they have marking like this. If you have 5 options, they give you 1/4 the negative, and for examinations where they have 4 options, the negative is 1/3. So net, if you go by probability thing, you would get a net score of 0 only.
And
however, if you can eliminate some of the options, yes, and get some educated guess, like in case of especially in DM, in the DM section where it is quite tricky at times, there you might take a chance, and that too if you have done considerable number of questions correct.
And of course, I somehow suggest that, look, the top institutes have some requirements of sectional cutoffs as well. Okay, but even if you look at the last 3 XATs, XAT 2018, 2019, and 2020, right? None of the sectional cutoffs, okay, for men or women or BM or HRM, okay, has ever been above 80. It never touches 80. All right. And mostly by, as Pranav said, that by scoring 6, 7, probably 8 to 9 on quantitative aptitude, I would say. Okay. So 6, 7 in DM and verbal ability, and probably 8 to 9 in quantitative aptitude. You can be 100% sure that you're certainly going to clear sectional cutoffs everywhere, without any doubt. Okay, and mind you, I'm not talking about, or Pranav is not talking about, or should I say, we are not talking about 6 to 7 attempts. We are talking about a score of 6 to 7. All right. So in order to get a score of 6 to 7, especially in the verbal ability of the XAT, or for that matter, even in the decision-making section of the XAT, right? You may have to attempt at least twice the questions. Okay, I will give you, I believe that I'm reasonably good at English, though completely out of practice. Okay, so last year I attempted all 26 questions in English. Okay, I got only 14 correct and 12 wrong. In one of the earlier videos, I told you 13 correct and 13 incorrect, but I checked it today. Okay, because Pranav wanted, or probably Alok wanted some data. I realized that 14 correct and 12 incorrect. Okay, that is still rank back, but my percentile score still was 99.62 in that particular section. So not that I did well, it only means that the population did remarkably bad. Okay, remarkably bad. But that is something for you to learn something from. Accuracy matters a lot here. You don't have to score very high. Okay, so why to guess unnecessarily? Give time to questions. Do them well. If you attempt a question, okay, please do not try to finish it in a jiffy. Okay, give it adequate time. Spend time with it. Okay, get the right answer and move on. Do not be in a hurry. That reminds me of this ad, ki jaldi karna hai, jaldbazi nahi. Okay, so please keep that in mind. Jaldi karo, jaldbazi nahi karo. Especially on the XAT, where you don't have to score very high. Your opinion on this, Pranav?
Yeah, I agree to that. See, you have 165 minutes, which is a long duration. Secondly, there is no sectional timing. Okay, so let's say a person who is slow in quant, he has conceptual clarity, but takes time to solve questions. You take your time, solve, as I said, like sufficient number of questions, which you feel that should clear your cutoffs, and I mean, take your time to solve questions. It is not necessary to attempt all the questions. If you see the past year data and the XAT papers, even if you are able to score 30 plus, that is good enough. That's a good enough score to get a call. So take your time, solve questions. Don't be in a hurry to solve the questions. And especially in the quant section, I'll give my own example. I'm very good at quant, good at solving questions. But last year, there were a few questions which I did not, read them properly. And I made some mistakes while attempting those questions because I was probably in a hurry to solve questions. And later on, when I discussed the questions with my colleagues, I found that I had done them wrong. So take your time in solving the questions. Read the questions are lengthy there. Okay, read the data very properly, and even in the other two sections, especially DM section, which is quite tricky. Read the options carefully and answer wisely.
And here are two things to say. And in fact, I'm sure most of you must have practiced a lot of mocks. And if you haven't practiced, anyway, I'm going to make a very ugly statement. Okay, if you haven't done many mocks, you do not deserve to be selected also, because that shows your lack of seriousness. But anyway, okay. So you must have practiced a lot by this time and you must be having your strategy. Okay, but if I look at these 165 minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes for those 75 questions, right? The way I look at it, that probably, I mean, if I want to get a call, and in fact, today only, we were doing some strategy for the XAT analysis. By the way, we are going to do this XAT analysis for you hardly 15 minutes after the examination getting over. The examination gets over at 12:30 and we shall be live at 12:45, okay, with the best possible analysis. Please keep that in mind, the way we have done it in case of CAT. So, and in fact, I asked 2 or 3 people to maximize their scores, but I've asked them to clear the sectional cutoffs as well. Then I thought that what could be the best way for clearing the sectional cutoffs and then maximizing your score. And I'm just sharing, okay, 2 or 3 ideas with you. You can pick it if you like it. All right. So should we do 40, 40, 40 in the first 120 minutes of the test? Okay. And then by giving 40 minutes to each of the sections, I believe that I should be able to clear sectional cutoffs everywhere, regardless of the difficulty level of the section. Okay. If I'm a well-prepared student, I'm not even speaking for those people who are not well-prepared. All right. And beyond these 2 hours, 1, you would have cleared sectional cutoff. 2, you would have got very good idea that which is the section in which you should actually be slugging. All right. And if you're not comfortable with all the sections and you have your favorite section, go back to that after 2 hours. Okay. You're still left with 45 minutes. Okay. Do whatever you want to do. Maximize your score there. 1. So 40, 40, 40 and 45 is one strategy. Another way of looking at it could be that, okay, let me attempt close to 12 questions in verbal ability first, okay, and maybe 13, 14 questions in decision making. Okay, why am I saying more questions in decision making, okay, and less in verbal ability, whereas the total number of questions, okay, is more in verbal ability and just 21 in case of decision making? The reason is that your accuracy suffers. Okay, your accuracy, or for most of you, the accuracy suffers the most in the DM section. As Pranav said, that is quite tricky. All right, so just attempting 10 to 11 questions can be very tricky there. So I believe that you attempt some 13, 14 questions there in DM, maybe 12, 13 questions in verbal ability, and come back to quantitative aptitude if that happens to be your favorite area. All right, or take your time. You give some maybe 45 minutes to quantitative aptitude. Okay, let's see whatever you're able to do. Most of the people should be able to attempt 10 to 12 questions. Okay, then go and get sectional cutoffs in other sections as well and come back to whichever section you want to, right, maximize your scoring. What do you say, Pranav?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good strategy, that spare the first 2 hours attempting all 3 sections, okay, and creating some good marks. I mean, creating a buffer so that you manage to clear all the sectional cutoffs and then slog in your favorite section. You have enough time, let's say 45 minutes, as you said, 40, 40, 40 and 45. 45 minutes are enough to solve, let's say 10, around 8 to 10 quant questions. So if, let's say, someone manages to score 8, 8 or 7 in the first 40 minutes, say, let's say around 23, 24, and he can scale his score up to 30 plus. Easy, that can be done easily. And there are some of the users who are asking about random guessing. So what is your call on that?
No. I know someone very senior in the industry, okay, has suggested this, but I'm completely against this. And I have my reasons also. You have 5 options. Okay, so this reasoning that in CAT you have 33.33% negative marking, whereas in XAT you have 25%, okay, is not good, is flawed. 2, Because in CAT you have 4 options and here you have 5 options. All right. Moreover, otherwise also if you look at the performance, mass performance on the XAT, right, accuracy is mostly not very high here. In quantitative aptitude, people still manage to get a good accuracy, right? But it suffers like anything. I mean, anyway, last year and especially my case was an extreme. So that is not my, only standpoint, right? But otherwise also accuracy suffers a lot in DM as well as verbal ability. Okay, so people should be very careful. They should emphasize a lot on accuracy, okay, and should straight away avoid random guessing. But of course, as Pranav also suggested that let's say there are 5 options, okay, and if I've been able to eliminate 3 and I'm left with 2, is the risk worth taking? Yes, or maybe. I would not say a definite no to that, but straight away random guessing is out of question for me.
Yeah, moreover, since it's a computer-based test, so it takes time to scroll through the question, navigate to the questions, right? So that the time that you would waste in navigating to all those, let's say you attempt 45 questions and you think of randomly guessing 30 questions, randomly marking 30 questions, that definitely would take around a good time, let's say 5-6 minutes. In that time, you could solve 2 or let's say 2 questions with properly. That can be done. So instead of wasting time on random guessing, I would rather go for solving more questions.
Yeah, undoubtedly. In fact, another way of looking at it could be that straight away go to your favorite section. In most of the cases, the favorite section would be either BARC or the quantitative aptitude. This is very unlikely that the DM section would be anyone's favorite. And anyway, DM is not something which people ordinarily do also. Okay, so go to your favorite section, spend 70-75 minutes there. Okay, finish it, do whatever you can do, finish it. All right, luckily you're still left with 90 minutes. In 90 minutes, you can do a lot, but then of course, at the end of 45 minutes, kindly tell yourself, so you spent 70 minutes in either QA or VARC, then you move to the next section. Okay, stop after 45 minutes. So 70 plus 45, okay, that is still 115. You're still left with 50 minutes. That's a lot. Okay, that also can be one of the strategies. And anyway, DM, no matter what score you get, attempting 21 questions in most of the cases should not take more than 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, even if you're very careful, all right, I believe that you should not take more than 45 to 50 minutes, at the most an hour, because ultimately you have just 21 questions there. And these 21 questions also mostly come in sets of 3 or 4. So you have 6 to 7 passages to do. Okay, and one more thing, and in fact, you must know that for every unattempted question beyond 8, okay, you lose 10%, 1/10 of a mark. I'm sure you're aware of this, okay? And this impacts your score in each of the sections, all right? Not that straight away, I mean, some of your absolute scores in 3 different sections would not be more than your overall score, okay? Both the things are equal. And how do they do that? Let's say you have attempted X number of questions, okay? You have attempted X number of questions and X is less than 67. Why am I saying 67? 75 minus 8 is 67. Okay. So if you have attempted X and X is less than 67, okay, then you are going to be penalized on 67 minus X, right? Pranav?
Yeah.
You're going to be penalized on 67 minus X. So if they have to penalize you on 67 minus X, okay, I do not know if I'm making it sound like a function in mathematics, okay. So you will lose exactly 28/75 into 67 minus X into 1/10 in quantitative aptitude, right? And again, 21 divided by 75 into 67 minus X into 1/10 in DM, okay? Because there are 21 questions in DM, right? and 26 divided by 75 into 67 minus x into 1 by 10, okay, in the verbal ability. So please keep that in mind, okay? So you are going to suffer on account of you not being able to attempt a good number of questions, okay, overall in the test. And let's say you have attempted all 28 questions of quantitative ability, but overall you have attempted only 50 questions, okay? Even if you have attempted all 28 questions on quantitative ability, right, they are going to reduce your score in the quantitative aptitude section also, because your 67 minus x here, okay, will be 17, okay? So 28 divided by 75 into 17 by 10 is something which you're going to lose. All right. So, and in fact, last year, Vikas Dahiya, or probably on one of the occasions, probably Saral was also not quite happy with this, that they missed 99.999 by a whisker. Okay. So keep one thing in mind. Those people who want to become one section wonder, and probably a few of my friends are also listening to me. Okay. So do 28 on quantitative aptitude. Okay. And here, since you people have nothing to lose, okay, please randomly mark each of the remaining answers. Okay. Do not leave more, attempt at least 67. You will get 99.999. I hope Vikas Dahiya is listening. Okay. So please keep that in mind. And keeping that in mind, in fact, what happens in many cases that people believe that they're going to score 6 in a particular section. They forget that overall they haven't attempted a good number of questions. Okay, and they lose a mark or two on account of the unattempted questions. So please keep a buffer of 2 marks. Okay, if the cutoff is going to be 7, try to score 9. Okay, and please do not do some fast calculation. I know what Pranav must be thinking. He must be thinking that what can be the minimum which you can lose and what can be the maximum which you can lose. Okay, so Vijay is saying 2, probably 2 is not even needed. A buffer of 2 is not even needed. Okay, on a serious note, quite possible. I haven't yet calculated, right? Keep some buffer, because not many people would be able to attempt 67 questions, I believe. Okay, your opinion on this, Pranav?
Yeah, so yes, you should leave a buffer of about 2 marks. 2 is sufficient, I believe. Let's say the cutoffs generally are in the range 6 to 7. Okay, so for VARC and DM section, take your score up to 8. That would suffice. In VARC, especially 8 would be sufficient. In quant, you might need to cross 10. Because generally the population is skewed towards a quant friendly population, and most of them tend to do well in the quant section, and there the accuracy level is high. People are more certain of their answers being correct. So try to cross at least 10 in that section. And as I said, don't try to maximize your attempts. Instead, go for genuine attempts. Maximize your genuine attempts. Don't go for random marking for the remaining questions. That 0.1 does not make a lot of difference. Yes, definitely that lowers your overall score, but not by that margin. Instead of going for random attempts, I would definitely suggest that always go for even if you are doing some guesswork, do some educated guesswork by eliminating 2 to 3 options.
And just to share some data with you, okay, if you look at the difficult XAT 2020 as well, okay, in verbal ability at a score of 5.25, at a net score of 5.25, the percentile score was 91.11. 91.11 at a score of 5.25, mind you. Though not every year it would be as bad as that, but if you touch 7, you're absolutely safe. Similarly, in decision making, at a score of 8.25, raw score of 8.25 meant 93.20 percentile. Okay, in quantitative aptitude, in order to touch 90 percentile, you needed to score almost 10, because a raw score of 10 was equivalent to 90.7 percentile. So these are the figures which you must keep in mind. I will repeat, 5.25 in verbal ability was equivalent to 91.11 percentile, right? And 10 in quantitative aptitude was equivalent to 90.7 percentile. And just 8.25 in the DM section was equivalent to 93.20 percentile. So these are the figures for you, okay?
Yeah, and the sectional cutoffs are not beyond 80. Okay, so even if, and you must have seen in CAT as well, I showed you the scorecards as well. Some of us scoring 99.9 plus in two of the sections and unable to touch 90 in the third, but still getting 99.9 plus. So same goes in this exam as well. If you do really well in one of the sections and in the other two sections, even if you manage to get 80 plus, you'll sail through.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, in CAT as well as XAT, if you do extremely well in just one of the sections, okay, and you do just okay in the remaining two, of course, you will get a very, very good overall score, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly. And there's one more thing, be happy about this, that like there are no reservations, okay, in case of the defense services, okay, be it at UG level or PG level, NDA, CDS, FCAT, you do not have any reservation. At least in NDA and CDS, you do not have any reservation, right? In XLRI also, you have no reservation, zero reservation. Okay, so it's a level playing field for everyone, very level playing field for everyone. Be happy about this. And luckily, like on 29th of November, on the day of CAT, all of us were discussing this, which slot was easier, slot 1 or slot 2 or slot 3. Overall, now it appears that slot 3 was actually easier than slot 1. Okay, but of course, data interpretation section of slot 3 was more difficult than the first slot, undoubtedly, right? But in case of XAT, no such discussions, because there would be just one slot, hopefully just one slot. Okay, why I said hopefully? Because if they're not able to, if there are some technical glitches which take place at certain centers, they may have to reconduct, because that is something which had happened in the year 2018, if my memory serves me right. So 2 XATs were conducted that particular year. All right, so no slot discussion here, no scaling. All right, so you would know your score just 3 to 4 days down the line. And you will know your result also. I think the result would be out on 31st of January, Pranav. Yes, the result will also be out on 31st of January, and you will get to see your response sheet. Okay, probably tomorrow is 3rd, so by 7th or 8th.
7th, 8th. Yeah. Okay, so some of the users are asking about GK section. So how does XLRI take into account the GK score? So can you?
All right. First of all, of course, all of us are aware of this, that GK would not contribute to your overall XAT score. Okay. But if you perform below a particular level in GK, okay, and even if you're a 100 percentile, or they do not give you 100 percentile, they give you 99.999. Okay. But if your performance is below a particular level, which no one knows about actually, all right, they would not, XLRI would not call you. Certain business schools would not call you if you do extremely bad in the GK section. Okay, but most of the people, I have hardly seen anyone suffering on account of this. Okay, just ensure one thing, since there is no negative marking in that particular section. Okay, so please do attempt all 25 questions. Do not commit the blunder of not attempting all 25. Okay, and work with your sense. It's difficult to, I mean, very, very difficult to fail it also. Okay, no one knows the magical figure that how much should you be scoring exactly. Okay, but should be minuscule. Should be minuscule. But I guess if you score something in negative, or if you score 0, it might be very difficult. For the XLRI, at least it would be next to impossible to get a score. Keep that in mind. So use elimination method, okay, and try to do your best. That is it. Attempt all 25 questions. That is all that I have to say. So as an eliminator, performance, a very good performance there will not take you anywhere, okay? But if you do something extraordinary, okay, if you do something extraordinary, that is getting 0 and sub-0, then that can be a problem for exam. That is all that I have to say. And do not think much about these things. Okay. I mean, Pranav was telling me just before the session. Yes, Pranav.
Yeah, so in XLRI, you have something engineers versus non-engineers in the BM program. I don't think there is much difference in that. Unlike in CAT, the engineers need to perform extraordinarily well. Here, it's just a difference of one notch. Let's say 95 percentile for engineers, then it might be 93 for non-engineers. Not much of a difference.
Look, even if there is some difference, first of all, as you rightly said, there is hardly any difference. Okay. But even if there is, this is certainly not the time to think about this. Okay. So just go and do your best. Just go and do your best. Okay. Try to get some 6-7 marks in each of the sections. Okay, you ensure this. What happens in many cases that people do one section completely, then they do the second section also completely. They reach the third section, and then they realize that they're left with 12 minutes. Okay, it becomes very difficult to get sectional cutoffs. Okay, even a score of 70 to 80 percentile in those 10 to 12 minutes on the XAT. Okay, so that balance needs to be maintained here.
Okay, so let's just there might have been some new viewers. Let's discuss the two strategies. One which you said that 40 40 40 and then 45 for slogging in one of the three sections, the section of your choice. And the other strategy that could be beforehand, if you have practiced a lot, you know which is your section and in which section you score really well. Give around 75 minutes and then 45 to each of the other two sections.
Yes, absolutely. I'll give you an example also. Like someone like Pranav Pant, who is in good touch, okay, and I have reasons to believe that he would be confident of his quantitative ability. Okay, so he should go and first of all do all questions. Okay, in the quantitative aptitude section, he should try to attempt all 28. Okay, I believe that is not going to take more than 70-75 minutes. Okay, but once that is over, then he must ensure that he attempts some 10 to 12 questions in each of the remaining two sections. And if he's still left with any time, okay, then he should come back to the section he's less uncomfortable with. Since his most comfortable section he has already taken care of, so which is why I'm using this phrase, is left with two choices then. Okay, he should come back to the section he's less uncomfortable with. I believe that he will come back to VARC. Okay, after attempting 12, 13 questions in DM and VARC. Okay, and if there is someone like me, okay, who is fundamentally clear in each of the sections, okay, but speed might be a problem because I'm out of touch. Okay, so for a person like me, 40, 40, 40, 45 strategy is better if I want to clear the test. Okay, because in 40, 40, 40, I would have certainly cleared all sectional cutoffs. Okay, I do not have any favorite that DI is my favorite or quant is my favorite or DM is not my favorite or bubble ability is my favorite. I do not have any such thing. I'm a section agnostic person. So I will see the opportunity that where I can probably is like identifying the fifth bowler. Okay, in those 120 minutes, I would have identified the fifth bowler. Okay, and will belt him for a few sixes in the last 45 minutes. That is it.
Yeah, so we have given both the strategy. So if someone is section agnostic, he could follow Vijay's strategy 40 40 40 and then slog in the last 45 minutes. And if someone is like me who is strong in one of the three sections, just go for the go for 75 minutes in that section and then 45 in the other two, and ensure that you secure at least 6 to 7 marks in each of the sections. Especially in quant, you need to take that to 10. Okay, try to take it to 10 and 7 in the other two sections. Even if you are if you do not attempt very high number of questions, that 0.1 won't make a lot of difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so a few things, a few more things that what you need to carry tomorrow to the examination hall. Firstly, is of course the admit card and these COVID precaution things such as mask, gloves, etc. Apart from that, you need to install Arogya Setu app on your mobile phone and take it. That is mandatory. Please read that instruction in the admit card. If you do not have that app, you will have to take some undertaking along with you. And the ones who are in North India, I would recommend that do not wear shoes, because last time I remember they asked us to remove the shoes, so you might feel cold. Okay, so that is one advice.
And please use heavy woolen. Okay. It has, I mean, do not expect your examination center to be air conditioned. Please.
Yeah.
Okay. So please use heavy woolen. People who are in North India. Okay. So cold wave is already on. Okay. So this room is very comfortable. This is air conditioned and I'm comfortable. The heater is on. Okay. Which is why I do not have a jacket. You will see me in a heavy jacket tomorrow in the morning at the examination center. So if you're shivering all the time, okay, while appearing for the test, you cannot put your best. Okay, please be mindful of that. All right. So that is it. Now, I just wish you all the best. Do your best. If you were not able to do well on CAT 2020, just forget that. Just forget that now. All the best for your XAT 2021.
Yeah, even I wish you all the best. So don't be disappointed if you had bad CAT this time. You have another chance tomorrow, and Excel is one of the top institutes. The good thing is, especially for the engineers and others who crib about CAT, that they give preference to diversity and all those tips. There is no reservation there. It's all merit-based examination. So do well in the examination, and hopefully you'll get into Excel. And tomorrow, as you all know, that we have the exam analysis of XAT at 12:45 p.m. So do join us on our YouTube channel at 12:45. We'll do the exam analysis, and at 4 p.m. we shall discuss some of the questions from the paper based on our memory, actual questions. Okay, so all the best for the examination, and at last I would like to say that please eat and sleep well tonight.
Undoubtedly. Do not eat much, and please do eat something in the morning before you leave for the examination center. Please do eat something. Okay.
Yeah, because you have to survive the 3 hours.
And carry some soap strips as well. You know why? Because most of these centers in their lavatories, they do not put soaps properly. Okay, so please carry some soap strips for the obvious reasons. Okay.
Okay, so all the best. That's what we have to say, and see you tomorrow at 12:45 for the exam analysis. All right, so goodbye and all the best.